Okay, so very good afternoon to all of you students. The previous classes we discussed about clippers, series as well as parallel clippers. In the today's class we will start with the clampers. Okay, so clampers are also the networks that use diodes, okay, especially to perform some specialized DC shifting operations. Okay, so let us just go through the definitions of a clamper first of all, and then we will try to consider some practical examples. Okay, so what does the textbook definition of a clamper state? That a clamper is a network which is constructed of a diode, a resistor and a capacitor that shifts a particular waveform to a different DC level without changing the appearance of the applied signal. Okay, well, there are 2 to 3 concepts involved here, so we'll try to understand those concepts. Further, clampers can also perform additional DC shifts by introducing a DC supply to the basic structure. Okay, so that means the clamper circuits may use a DC supply or may not use a DC supply, just as it was in the case of clippers. Then finally, clamping networks have a capacitor. Okay, so there is a capacitor which is connected directly from the input to the output with a resistive element in parallel with the output signal. The diode is also in parallel with the output signal, but may or may not have a series DC supply as an added element. Okay, so it may have a DC supply or it may not have a DC supply associated with it. Alright, so now let's try to understand the definition of a clamper with respect to a practical clamper circuit. Okay, so that's the simplest clamper network available. That's the input signal. In this case it's a plain square wave. For clippers we had considered sinusoidal waves. Okay, although a triangular and a square wave can be used even in the case of clippers also. Here, for simplification, for easier understanding of the clamper concept, we have used a square pulse. Okay, but the same analysis applies whenever the input is a triangular or it could be a sinusoidal waveform. Okay, the same analysis will hold good. Okay, so that's the input signal which is a square pulse. During the positive half cycle, plus V is the maximum amplitude, and during the negative half cycle, minus V is the maximum amplitude. The period of the square pulse is from 0 to t. Okay, and it is continuously varying with respect to time. What about the clamper network? Okay, as the contents in the previous slide mentioned, okay, a clamper, the components are, okay, let me just write it down here so that it will be easier for us to understand. Okay, so first of all, clamper is a network. Okay, whenever we say a network, it constitutes of so many components, active as well as passive components. So what are the main components which are present in a clamper circuit? The main component present is a capacitor. Without a capacitor, the clamper would not have functioned as a capacitor as a clamper circuit. Okay, so capacitor is must in the case of clampers. Next, diodes must, then resistors, okay, especially they are being used as load resistors, and then finally you need a input signal, and then the output has to be obtained. Okay, in addition to these things, okay, see, these things are mandatory. Optional thing is a DC supply. Okay, so a clamper circuit may consist of an additional DC supply or it may not have it. Okay, it doesn't matter. All right, so further, The statement also says that the capacitor C is connected in between input and the output. Okay, exactly as it is shown in the slide. Then the diode is connected in parallel. Okay, in parallel to the input signal. Okay, and the output is always across the load resistor R. Okay, so what about the output? Well, this simple animation says so much about the output signal. Okay, let me very quickly go back to the previous slide and stress upon one or two statements of clamper definition. Okay, the first important point is that a clamper circuit uses a diode, resistor and a capacitor and shifts particular input signal to a different DC level. Okay, so I would like to stress on this particular word. Okay, that is, there is a shift in the DC level, either up or down with respect to something. Further, this DC shift happens without changing the appearance of the applied input signal. Okay, so let me just write the shape of the original signal in the sense I am talking about Vi, will not change. Okay, unlike the case of a clipper. In the case of a clipper, a portion of the input signal was clipped apart. Okay, either partially or fully. However, in the case of a clamper, there is absolutely no clipping. Let me make it very clear, no clipping in the case of clampers. There is only a DC level shift. Fine. So moving forward, what is the analysis approach? Well, there are some standard steps, okay, being given in your textbook. I'll just read it out and then we'll try to understand the meaning of these particular steps by considering a very simple clamper network. Okay, fine. So these are the steps of clamper analysis. The first step says start the analysis by examining the response of the portion of the input signal that will forward bias the diode. The keywords are being underlined here, so please pay attention on the underlined words. Okay, so the step 1 says that you will have to analyze the clamper circuit by examining the portion of the input signal that will forward bias the diode. Okay, so in short, let me just write, you will have to consider Vi such a way that the diode is forward biased. Okay, so that means if the diode gets forward biased during positive half of the input cycle, then you will have to consider that portion. If the diode gets forward biased during negative half of the input cycle, then you will have to start the clamper analysis with negative half cycle. Okay, next, step 2. During the period that the diode is in on state, assume that the capacitor will charge up instantaneously to a voltage level determined by the surrounding network. Okay, what does that mean? Now, say for example, we are applying some input signal and its amplitude is 5 volts. Okay, the moment I apply input signal, and let me assume that there is a capacitor here, we'll have to consider that this particular capacitor C charges instantaneously. Okay, it charges instantaneously to the voltage level determined by the surrounding network. So in the surrounding network there could be only input signal, or sometimes there may also be a diode, okay, or a DC supply also. That means the charging ability of this particular capacitor happens instantaneously, and further the amount of charge being stored is determined by the surrounding network. Okay, it could be the drop across the diode, input, or even the resistor. Okay, fine. Next, coming to step 3. Assume that during the period when the diode is in off state, okay, so when the diode is in off state, the capacitor holds on to its established voltage level. And that is extremely important. Okay, the capacitor holds on to its established voltage level. Okay, that means during the charging phase, if the capacitor is being charged to say for example 5 volts, then during the discharge phase we'll have to consider that 5 volts of charge is being held by the capacitor itself. Okay, this particular charge has not been discharged. Okay, fine. Then step 4, throughout the analysis maintain a continual awareness of the location and the defined polarity of V0 to ensure that proper levels are obtained. Then finally step 5, check the total swing of the output whether it matches with that of input signal. Well, as the previous slide mentioned, the meaning of this particular step is that the total swing of the input must be equal to the total swing of the output, provided there will be some additional DC shift either horizontally either up or down with respect to the horizontal axis. Okay, so these are the 5 steps. We'll try to understand the significance of these steps by taking a simple example. Okay, fine. So let's consider a clamper circuit. Okay, so as the definition spoke, a clamper circuit, the most important component is a capacitor C. Let us apply a input voltage to it, and let's assume that a diode is being placed. As of now, let this diode be an ideal one. Okay, let this be an ideal diode so that the analysis will be simplified. Further, a resistor across which the output is to be taken. So let us say it is V0 plus minus. Now let this input be a square pulse. Okay, let Vi be a square pulse. So let's go with the waveform. So that's the input and its shape is a square pulse. Okay, so let us consider its amplitude to be plus Vm, and during the negative half cycle let it be minus Vm. Okay, I am not giving any particular amplitude to it, I am trying to generalize it. So let it be plus Vm and minus Vm. Further, coming to the output waveform, so let me call it as V0. Okay, and for proper understanding let me just draw the vertical lines as I used to do it in the case of clipper circuits also. Okay, fine. Next, the steps. Okay, analysis steps. As we used to do it in the case of clippers, the first step is to determine the transition voltage. Okay, transition voltage. So since the diode is ideal, what must be the transition voltage here? Vt. It is 0, right? Okay, if the diode was of silicon, then it would have been 0.7. Okay, so right now the transition voltage is 0. Okay, fine.